Seems to be VCR repair week, as this is the third one if you're counting. This is the third VCR I've had in a week. I had that Betamax, I had that Panasonic DVD player VCR combo, and now I have a Toshiba DVD recorder VCR combo with a VCR problem. Everybody's saying the same thing. We're dragging out the old Disney tapes for our grandchildren to watch, and these things just aren't working. Can you guess what's wrong? Let's find out. This is the Toshiba DVR620 VHS recorder player, DVD recorder player, and the complaint on this is that the VHS player is not functional. Let's see if you guys can guess from the initial symptom what the fault is. So let's test it and see what happens. If you jump to conclusions like I did initially, you'll be wrong, because this is not what you think. It just makes a bunch of noise and then shuts off. So we'll get the top off this one. The symptom on this screams mode switch. This looks to be similar to the DVR7s, which I've already done in the past. So the tape's in the machine. No attempt for the tape to load. We'll try turning it back on, and it just ejects the tape. Load it, and nothing happens. Okay, drum's not trying to turn. Actually, you know what? The drum appears to be seized up. So this may not be a loading problem. This may not be a loading switch problem. This may be a seized drum, because that is not turning very smoothly at all. Like, it's not spinning. It's getting a little more free. But you see when I spin it, it just stops right away. So this may be a sticking drum problem, as opposed to, I think probably does have a loading switch problem. But let's see what happens if I fire the tape in and just give the drum a little bit of a help to see if it will spin. Okay, interesting. Now it seems to be playing. So we had a sticking drum on this one. That's real interesting. I've never seen a sticking drum like that before. I wonder if I can lubricate this thing. I guess if I take the screws out on the top, I should be able to take that drum apart and find a screwdriver. This should remove the stator, I think. Yeah, okay, there's a bearing here. Power's off on this, by the way. Now I wonder if I take this, I'll try and lubricate that bearing if I can. Should be a screw on the side of this, which there is. So there's one. I'm just going to mark the position. 1.5 millimeter hex key. Should open this up. I may have to take the magnet off. I think I probably will have to take the rotor off here, just so I don't damage it. That's a magnet, so you got to keep anything magnetic away from it, like iron filings and stuff, or you could have a very bad day. We'll undo the brass collar there. This is the bearing here, and I'm just going to see if I can get some lubricant into that. It just slips right off, as you can see. It's just a single bearing on this. The rotary transformer is below, so if I get some lubricant into that bearing, a drop of oil, that might be all I need to get this one back up and running. I was sure from the initial symptom that it was going to be a mode switch, but you know, sometimes you see something that is totally different and totally new, and in this case, that's what this is. I can't remember the last time I saw a bearing that was bad. It's been a long time since I've seen a bad bearing. I'm just putting a drop of oil. I don't want to put too much oil on, so I'm just going to put a drop of oil on the end of a screwdriver here so that I can apply it and get it into the actual bearing itself. Let it work its way in. I don't want to put too much on because I don't want any excess oil finding its way onto the head drum, if you know what I mean. Which is exactly where it would end up if there was too much oil in there. If I pull this off, I could probably lift this whole entire head off if I wanted to. I probably should lubricate the bottom bearing here as well. There's the rotary transformer and the heads. And there's a lower bearing down here as well. So I just want to put a tiny drop of oil onto the lower bearing. Which is basically just a washer in this case. Okay, here's the head drum. Set the head drum back on carefully. There. Now that's turning quite freely. Put a little bit more oil just into that bearing. And that's probably more than enough. I'll then put the top of the bearing back on and line it up. I marked it so that I could get I marked it with three markings so that I could get it exactly where it was before. And if the camera would stay put, you can see what I'm doing. Okay, that head turns nice and freely now. There's an index hole that lines up with this index hole here on the motor. That's how you know when you're in the right position. Reset the screws. I'm not tightening them at this point. I'm going to just get them in loosely and then I'll tighten them up. Whoops. Magnets. Gotta deal with magnets. Okay, put the stator assembly back on. Okay, let's see if this thing loads and whether it plays. So I got a tape here. I just so happened to find one of my tapes that I used to use when I was in the video conversion business, and I had these pre-printed labels that were on all the tapes so that when I did a conversion to PAL or CCAM or NTSC, I could just check what it was. I had all these tapes pre-made with labels printed and stuck on them. I just happened to be going through a box and I found one that never got used. I used to give all my clients their tapes in these white sleeves. So I figured, okay, this is a brand new tape that is ready to go. Let's record some stuff on it for testing. And there's playback. That's basically the same stuff that's on this disc, which was the disc that I made on the machine just like this. Actually, I made this tape on a DVR7, playing it off that disc. So we'll check the DVD drive out. There's playback from the DVD. Looks as good as a DVD is capable of looking. This footage was shot in 4K using a FDR AX100 camera, shot at 100 megabits. I can say the original looks a lot better than the DVD copy for sure, but the DVD copy is nothing to complain about. It certainly looks good, but it does not look as good as the original. We'll go back to the tape and you can compare how much softer. I'm sure you guys can see that, the difference between the tape and the DVD. DVD, tape. Yeah, even on, I'm sure you guys can see it, there's quite a difference in the quality between DVD and VHS. VHS looks pretty poor by comparison. But this machine's working. I fixed this thing in record time. I say this is a first on one of these machines, having the drum seize up like that. Now I am going to do the mode switch clean on this thing, but I'm going to do that as a separate video, you know, because more videos makes me more money. So to see the mode switch on this machine cleaned, stay tuned. There'll be one coming out real soon. But for now, this one's good. I'm going to clean the heads, obviously, on this thing before I send it out. But as far as the repair of the motor the drum motor goes, this machine is fixed. So we'll just clean the heads. And consider this one done. Piece of paper with some isopropyl alcohol, turn the drum counterclockwise while providing a little bit of pressure just to clean off any garbage crap that's on the head. There we go, good as new. I'll do the audio head and the rest of the tape path at the same time. And there you go, a little bit of dirt. That one's done. We'll catch you in the next one real soon. Bye for now.